This is video 2 for week 7, and we'll cover slides 15 to, I'm just going down here, 23. Okay, so if you were working at the IT help desk, or you were helping clients or doing some training, you would want to make sure that any training or support resources that you created or services that you provide are accessible. And accessible can mean many different things. It can mean accessible to people with physical disabilities. It can mean accessible so that people with learning disabilities can use them, or people with mental health challenges. So you want to make sure that your resources are useful to all these people so that everybody can access them and be successful in getting the training or support required. So AODA, you might have heard of that when you've been talking about software, and it's the law that our facilities, our services, our software needs to be AODA compliant. So click through here and you can find out what Durham College's AODA policies and standards are, and think about some examples that illustrate that we do have an AODA policy. Moving on, let's talk a little bit about learning disabilities, learning challenges. So on the screen here, I'm asking you, what do you see? And most of you probably see the letter B. A lot of young children have trouble remembering if this is a B, a P, a D, or a Q. And that's because when they go to school, they've been told from an early age, when they're learning the names of different objects. For example, if they learn that something is a lamp, it's a lamp. And if the lamp falls over, it's still a lamp. If you turn the lamp upside down, it's still a lamp. But then they suddenly go to school and they learn that this symbol here, depending on which way you turn it, it's called different things. Most kids get over this, but it's a difficult concept. But if you're still having trouble with that, or if a child is still having trouble with that when they're an adult, and it impacts their ability to understand what they read, they might have a developmental learning disorder or disability. So this is a trick that teachers sometimes use, or people with this challenge sometimes use, is they use the word bed to help them remember which letter is B, which way to face the circle and the line when it's a B, and which way for D. Here's another one. Close your eyes. What letter comes before J? Yeah, so if you had to sing the alphabet song, or it wasn't a really automatic response, sometimes that's how letters are, the way we learn things, it can be challenging. If you really struggle, or you have no concept of left and right, and the whole idea of scrolling up and scrolling down is confusing to you, location type things like that can be challenging for people with learning difficulty. So these are all just could be symptoms, or it could just be you're crappy with your left and right. Same with understanding digital and analog clock faces. That can be challenging. So what I would like you to do is learn a little bit about developmental disorders. So I've linked you to a source called the Merck Manual. It's a credible source. And learn a little bit about what they are. And then click through to this CDC site and learn a little bit about some common developmental disorders and disabilities, so that you understand what the symptoms and challenges are, so that if you were designing training, you would maybe keep those things in mind, so that your resources and your support were accessible to people that face those kinds of challenges. So why is this important? Well, like I said, you might be doing training, but at least 14% of children, aka people, have an identified learning disability. So when you're engaging and helping people and training people, it's probably a lot higher than that, the number of people that actually have learning disabilities, because that's just the ones that have been identified by a psychologist or a medical doctor. So there's probably even more people. So you want to make sure that 20%, I don't know, even if we go with 14% of the people using your resources will be able to access them. You want to do something to help them. So I encourage you to do this little Quizlet flashcards and play the matching game so that you're aware of what some of the more common developmental disabilities are.